Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gaming Droid and welcome to Eternal. Eternal is a free-to-play card game by Direwolf Interactive or Direwolf Gaming. It's Direwolf Digital actually. It's a very interesting game, very similar to Hearthstone. I would say that the monetization is a little bit weird. It's very expensive to do most things, but then they also give you a lot of stuff from quests. Most of the quests aren't repeatable, so I would say that perhaps they need to bring down the cost, the real money cost of things. There's a campaign, which gets you the 5 basic decks. There's a decent friends list. There's a decent profile that shows you like where you're ranked, what you're doing, where your draft rank is, your collection status. So I've got 42% of commons, 32% of uncommons, so on and so forth. When you complete the basic campaign, it gives you 3 victory chests. And the chests you get from completing certain quests are quite interesting because the silver chests contain money, gems, decks, and individual cards, and sometimes a single chest will give you money, a card, and a deck. The gold chests contain bigger rewards. So right now I've got a Complete the Gauntlet, and I get to go to the Forge for free. I have Duelist, which is win a ranked match, and I have Raise the Elysian Banner, win 5 games with a time primal deck. So you can build your own deck as you could expect, but also as you complete quests, it hands you a new deck every now and then. So let's jump into a ranked match. So Elysian Wisdom is my recent win. I recently won the Elysian Wisdom deck just by completing a quest, which was very simple, very easy early on thing. When you first see the monetization system, it's easy to think that the game is just a money grab. It does seem to be a very, when you first see the monetization system, because the quest system's pretty kind of buried in there when you're not used to the layout of the game. So it's quite easy to see the system as being a bit of a cheap system, kind of like just going there for the money. Increase the dealt damage by all static balls in your hand deck by 1. So there's a lot of systems going into play. I'm going to redraw actually because I don't have enough mana in that hand. Just like Magic, you have mana. So let's have a look. And just like in Magic, you can see the symbols next to the mana cost are how many of each type of mana I need, as well as just having the raw amount. So I'm going to play a Primal, and then I'm going to draw a Primal Sigil from my deck because I actually have less Primal Sigils, so I'm less likely to draw them. This is a split colour deck, so I have ones of both colours. This is draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on the top of your deck. That's not a bad card to play. I appear to have lagged out though. Oh! He was deciding whether or not to block, I see. So the Fate is a on-draw ability. So this is the first of the kind of abilities you get. A Fate is an on-draw ability. I can just put the power card back on top of my deck, I don't mind. Oh, I should have put him back on top of my deck, because then I would have gotten another 1/1 from Fate. Basically when you draw it, it gets Fate. Flying creature, ambushes, it's got, basically it can be played as an instant, it can be played as a counter to something, and deadly means that it immediately kills anything it damages. You've also got things like I'm just going to attack with my Wisp. You've also got things like Lifesteal, which heals your hero. You've got things like instant spells and normal spells, you've got damage spells, you've got on play, so you've got summon abilities, you've got on death abilities, which in this case is called Entomb. You've even got abilities that benefit you from the void. And you can get different avatars and different totems, which have different effects when you tweak them. There's a decent amount of sound design, some decent music. All in all, it's a pretty good game. So it's prompting me to play this because this is an instant card. But I'm not going to do that. Echo, another ability. When you draw a creature with Echo from your deck, you gain 2 copies of it, rather than the usual 1. So I'm just going to throw out my Echo creature, because I'm very quickly going to get quite a few of those. So it's a very involuted, or not involuted, it's a very complex game, very deep game. And although the monetization seems very expensive with like 2,500 gold for you to play a game in the Gauntlet, or sort of like £5 for 400 gems. I'll have a better look at it. When I come out of this match, I'll show it to you. But the gems are moderately expensive as well. So him on summons a +2 iron sword, which you can deploy as a piece of equipment. Ooh. Okay, so he's burnt a lot of cards in this round. But that's okay, because I plan to do some rather nasty things with my cards in a little bit. You gonna finish? It's got a decent friend play system, so it's got a decent friend list. And it's actually really good at... oh, I have a lot of Echo cards in this deck, okay. It's actually very good at saying, right, well, this is your friend, and this is what sort of you want to play, and here's the challenge sort of thing. It's very good at making it easy for you to find your friends. So I'm going to pop him. Yeah, I seem to be having a little bit of lag with my spell. Oh, yeah, because he has an instant that can counter spells. Of course. I keep forgetting that. So you do sometimes get this situation where it seems like you're lagging, but actually you're just using you just have the opportunity to use an instant. Okay, so he had the Rampage instant. Okay. False Prince. When a spell is played directly on False Prince, transform him into a 1/1 frog. Okay. So I'm in a little bit of a rough position here, because there's not a huge amount I can do to survive. I've just got landlocked, so I've not got enough mana. I've got, in this case, power card locked. I have lots of really nice cards, but no mana to play them with. Deal damage equal to something. Yeah, there we go. So the monetization, it's 300 gems for 3, 7,000 gems for $60, and then you can play 4 copies of a card in your deck, common, uncommon, and you can destroy extras to get hold of the kind of like crafting currency shift stones. And then we have decks, and I got a deck from one of my chests, so you can see a pretty nice kind of... it gives you a lot of cards. So I've got an awful lot of cards from that. 1, 2, 3 uncommons, the rest are commons, and then I get my 1 rare. That was actually quite a... and you can see that, like, although the packs are very expensive, so if we go into the... where do I buy packs from? Buy. You have no unopened packs, click to purchase more. So 1,000 for 1 pack, 300 for 3 packs. You don't get the usual 5 cards. You saw there I got 1 rare, and then I got probably another 8 cards, 9 cards from it. So although the monetization system does seem very expensive to start with, it's not as bad as it first seems. Oh, so I have a free run through the Gauntlet now. Battle through the Gauntlet to increase powerful AI foes to defeat the final boss for the grand prize. So you can see I get chests from this one. So I'm going to go with my Hand of Justice against some AIs, and you'll be able to see that the Gauntlet allows you to get... so I'll get... it showed you 3 chests, so 2 of one type and 1 of another type. That is actually exactly what I'll get. It's not like some games where it only gives you 1 of the chests. You have to pick which one you want. You get to open all 3 chests. So although things seem very expensive, and they seem very... it seems like a very kind of like, well, pay $60 and you'll get enough gems to play the Gauntlet 40 times or 20 times. It's actually, you get quite a lot out of your gems and your gold. The quests are things like silence creatures this many times, deal this much damage. I'm going to block, and then I'm actually going to use this to kill off that creature. I have just had a cat join me. So this is a flying creature and I can silence someone. There's no one really to silence, so I'm not going to bother with him. Silence is not exactly what you'd expect. Silence removes their abilities, so Warcry, which gives a buff into the deck, Endurance, which allows them to act every turn, Flying, Lifesteal, those sort of things. It does not remove buffs. So if you've been buffed by something, and I'm not sure if it removes equipment buffs, but it certainly doesn't remove base buffs. So it wouldn't reduce this guy down to 3/3 again, because he's been buffed by 1/1. It wouldn't remove that, because that's not anything. Okay, that's getting mildly annoying, Mr. Fenry. Mr. Feign Treachery. So come on, I need some more mana. I'm not going to get any more mana. So this one has Warcry, and Warcry means every time she attacks, the next card with stats in my deck, whether it's a weapon or a person, will gain +1/+1. So if the next thing with stats is 3 cards down in my deck, then I'm going to end up with a very powerful creature, because it's going to have 3 opportunities to get Warcries put on it. This is getting mildly frustrating. So every time I play a mana card now, this guy will double his stats. So hopefully I will actually get a mana card to play. Way! At blinking last. So he's got an Aegis, the glowing shield. That means he's protected from a spell, so I can't cast a spell on him. Unblockable. Ooh, that's nasty. That's where the silence really comes into its own. However, with my weapon, I can pop the unblockable one, so that's no longer a risk. The AI is pretty good at picking which creatures to attack and which creatures not to attack, so the AI has been crafted very well. There's a little bit of an issue with some of the starting decks with kind of the balancing of the starting decks, but that's common in pretty much every game like this, is the starting decks won't necessarily be kind of perfectly crafted. I'm going to attack with her. I'm going to keep my other guys back for blocking. This guy doesn't seem to have a very strong creature deck. He has a very strong spell deck, so I have to try and make sure that these creatures don't burn me down too far. See, every time I play a power card, his attacks and defense doubles, so I'm actually going to play that on him as well. Because now, when I play another power card, he's going to go up to 20 attack. And he's got an Aegis, so he can't be targeted by a spell. This guy has lots of strong spells. I don't want him being taken out. So this should, unless he's got something instant in his hand. There we go. And that's a game against one of the AIs. So it's a good game. Most of the basic decks probably need a little bit more balancing. But other than that, it's a reasonably strong game. So there's my first match. Bronze, silver, championship. And once I get to the end, I will win my prize. So you can see the current prize listed down there. Once I get to the end, as I go along, I'll get chests added. I don't know if it tells me. No, it doesn't tell me when I'll get chest added. I assume I'll get a chest added when I defeat this person, a chest added when I defeat this person, and then my final chest added there. So thanks for watching. This has been Eternal by Direwolf Digital. It is a mana-based attack and defense card game, very similar to Magic the Gathering, with some similarities to Hearthstone. It is free to play, currently available on Steam, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.